Hi everyone, Cosmic Mango here, your favorite mango from outer space. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Welcome to an episode of Budget Pickups, a show where I pick a commander and guide you through some great cards that you can buy on a budget to add to that commander's deck. In today's episode, I have chosen the exciting new commander, Talion, the Kindly Lord, from the new Wilds of Eldraine set. She looks like a very powerful commander, and I think she's going to be a lot of fun to play. Okie dokie, let's get into the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm going to start off with showing you Talion and reading the card text. Talion the Kindly Lord is a legendary ethereal noble creature that costs 1 black, 1 blue, and 2 generic mana to cast. She has 3 power and 4 toughness and says the following. Flying. As Talion the Kindly Lord enters the battlefield, choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. Gosh, what a wacky and fun mechanic Talion offers. Card draw and life drain all on one commander? I love it, I love it! Having to pick a number between 1 to 10 might be a little confusing at times, and perhaps slightly frustrating, as we will always want to pick the best number, or to put it more bluntly, the more optimal number. The idea of Talion is we got to be smart and pick a number we believe is going to turn up the most throughout the game. I've done some research online and I think the numbers 3 and 2 are probably the best first choice to pick. With Talion deck, I think finding ways to copy her so that we can have multiple versions of her on the board, all with different number choices, is the most optimal and powerful way to build her. So you may see a lot of copy spells coming up. Okie dokie, let's get into the pickup guide. But before I start, I just want to quickly state that there will be a few copy spells that will appear, some of which won't work to their full potential unless you have a way to remove the legendary wall. So a card like Mirror Box is a total must in a Talion deck. Removing the legendary rule is a must. It's crucial so that we can copy her without having any problems. In fact, Mirror Box is probably one of the most crucial cards on this list. But anyway, let's get into the list, okay? Let's start with the instants and sorceries. Stolen Identity, a sorcery spell that costs 2 blue and 4 generic mana to cast. It says the following. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature cipher. Then you may have exile this spell, encoded on the creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player, its controller may cast a copy of the encoded card without paying its mana cost. Being able to copy Talion is going to be crazy. As a new copy enters, we can choose a new number, meaning our opponents are going to be even more likely to lose life to Talion's trigger ability, and we get to draw cards. Stolen Identity does copying very well, and the cipher effect just keeps the spell going and going. Talion has flying, so she's got evasiveness built on her, meaning attacking and activating cipher with her is a pretty easy achievement. You can buy this card for around 50 cents. Quasiduplicate? A sorcery spell with a wacky name that costs 2 blue and 1 generic mana to cast. It says the following. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Jumpstart. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs, then exile this card. Another fantastic copy spell which has a little cherry on top with that jumpstart ability. This effect massively enhances the effectiveness of this card. And you can buy this card for around $1.40. Mirage Mockery, a sorcery spell that costs 1 blue and 2 generic mana to cast. It says the following. Choose 1. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact creature you control, or create a token that's a copy of target non-artifact creature you control. Another wonderful copy spell with a relatively low casting cost, and you can buy this card for around 50 cents. Faerie Fencing, an instant spell that costs 1 black mana and X mana to cast. It says the following. Target creature gets -X until the end of turn. That creature gets an additional -3/-3 until the end of turn if you controlled a fairy as you cast this spell. I really like this spell. It seems pretty fun, and with Talion being a fairy herself, it's pretty damn powerful to cast as well, as you're very likely to have Talion on the field when you cast it. Plus, instant speed, can't really go wrong. You can buy this card for around 30 cents. So those are the instants and sorceries I would recommend. Now let's move on to the next stage of the video. Let's discuss the creatures I recommend for a Talion deck that you can buy on a budget. Faerie Bladecrafter, a fairy rogue creature that costs 1 black and 2 generic mana to cast. It has 2 power and 2 toughness and says the following. Flying. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, puts a +1/+1 counter on Faerie Bladecrafter. When Faerie Bladecrafter dies, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is its power. This fairy is going to be used to help drain our opponent's life totals down even further. She combos very well with our commander Talion and could even be used as a finisher. If you're running a lot of fairies in the deck, this creature can get very large very fast, and you can buy this card for around 80 cents. Mirror Image, a shapeshifter creature that costs 1 blue and 2 generic mana to cast. It has 0 power and 0 toughness and says the following. You may have Mirror Image enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control. A great creature that we can use to copy our commander Talion. As I said before, there's going to be a lot of copy spells in this deck, and this one does it well. You can buy this card for around 65 cents. Undercover Operative, a shapeshifter rogue creature that costs 2 blue and 2 generic mana to cast. It has 0 power and 0 toughness and says the following. You may have Undercover Operative enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it enters with a shield counter on it if you control that creature. If it will be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Having the shield counter makes this creature so good, a truly remarkable copy spell, a very good addition to the deck, and you can buy this card for around 70 cents. Clone, a shapeshifter creature that costs 1 blue and 3 generic mana to cast. It has 0 power and 0 toughness and says the following. You may have Clone enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. An old school copy spell. As the name suggests, it clones, and it clones well. Super simple, super good, and you can buy this card for around 30 cents. Vizier of Many Faces, a shapeshifter cleric creature that costs 2 blue and 2 generic mana to cast. It has 0 power and 0 toughness and says the following. You may have Vizier of Many Faces enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except if Vizier of Many Faces was embalmed, the token has no mana cost, it's white, and it's a zombie in addition to its other types. Another great copy spell that you can pick up on a total budget of around 80 cents. So those are the creatures. Now let's discuss the enchantments. Vesuvan Duplimancy, an enchantment spell that costs 1 blue and 3 generic mana to cast. It says the following. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. This is what I'm talking about, an absolute must card for a Talion deck, as it helps us bypass the legendary rule, making all our copy spells far more efficient. You can buy this card for around $2.90. Phyrexian Arena, an enchantment spell that costs 2 black and 1 generic mana to cast. It says the following. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. A truly amazing card that is pretty much a staple now in any deck running black. It's been reprinted recently, so it doesn't cost too much to purchase because it was quite pricey a few months ago, but you can now buy this card for around $2.90. So that's the enchantments done. Now let's talk about the artifacts. Mirror Box, one of the best cards in this video for a Talion deck, hand down. Actually probably the best card in this video. An artifact spell that costs 3 generic mana to cast and says the following. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name as that creature. This card does so much. It's excellent, and it only costs us 3 generic mana. Bypassing the legendary rule is a huge must for us. You just have to pick this card up if you're thinking about doing a Talion deck. You have to have this card. Trust me, it will do wonders for you. You can buy this card for around $1.60. Mirror Gallery, an artifact spell that costs 5 generic mana to cast and says the following. The legend rule doesn't apply. Just like Mirror Box, this bypasses the legendary rule for us and our opponents as well, of course, making our copy spells even more wonderful. A must-have card in my opinion for a Talion deck, and you can buy this card for around $2.20. Right, we have come to the end of my budget pickup guide. I hope you enjoyed my list and found some nice additions. Talion the Kindly Lord really looks powerful, and I'm very excited to try this commander out. Please leave a comment on what you think of the cards I've chosen, and drop a comment on any recommendations you think are a good addition for a Talion deck. It's always fun to chat with you in the comments. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy this video. Thanks for watching everyone, take care and goodbye.